Because I will be answering all of your questions through those next 2 stops. So the first device we're going to be using is a thermal imaging camera. Why would we want to use this in a ghost hunt?
Let's see if there's any temperature anomalies.
How so? Hot or cold?
Could be cold.
Could be cold, correct. More than likely cold, but if there's a heat anomaly, that's a thing too, guys. We're going to talk about thermodynamics a little bit as we kind of roll through the night. So you should be able to see me in there, right? Red, orange, and yellow guy. Sorry, fellas, this works every time. It means I'm the hottest thing inside the frame right now. Haha, see there? Yeah, all of you laughed at that one. So it works every night, just so you guys know. But we're looking for blue and black. Those are the coldest spots in the frame at that particular time. So I'm looking for those blue and black areas to actually either move or to take shape. When I say take shape, I want a head, shoulders, moving arms, and legs. That's what we've caught with this guy in the past. That's what hopefully we'll capture again someday. Do I capture something with this every night? Not necessarily, but when I do capture something, this is a holy shit moment. I'm just going to tell you that. So with this particular camera, because it is smaller, I don't always follow up with this one in real time because it is smaller. I do send all of your videos to YouTube, and I watch them on a computer. You guys can watch them on your TV set. So again, for the person using this, if obviously it's going to go to BRANT because he asked for it. So if I don't follow up with you as much as I do all the communication devices, now you know why. So there's a blue dot bouncing around the screen too. I set that up there on purpose to show you the coldest spot in the frame at that particular time frame. And it is there looking for 15+ degree temperature drops from our ambient temperature. Ambient temperature for us tonight, according to the Weather Channel, is 42 degrees. I'm looking for 27 degrees and colder. So it kind of gives you that idea. If I do find one of those, I will give you the screenshot of what we found and whatever I found in real time, and making sure it's not a can on the ground. I look at different angles from other cameras and so forth and so on. And you were looking at this like, holy cow, that's the real deal. Yes, this is a FLIR camera.
I like the IR sensor on the back.
Yeah.
FLIRs used to be huge. Yeah.
Well, they still are. They just made this portable so firemen can throw it on their own phone and get into a burning building to go find who they need to find. So this is the real deal. This is not a phone app you guys can go home and download, just so you guys have that idea. So I'm going to do the stop at this point. So, Brant, you will be weird spaces. So, some of you laughed and like, oh shit, this is what we're doing. I seen the look on some of your faces. But anyway, so this place used to be something obviously relevant to the history of Charleston. Let's kind of get into it. Communication devices, this is where I start withholding information. I'm not going to be giving you questions like what color was George Washington's white horse, like what we did with the Big Red Barn. You're going to get the answers from your spirit boxes. So, welcome to the Charles and Eliza Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion used to sit in the front of this space facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with Five Church Restaurant and came all the way across, and we are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So that's the layout of the land. So who the hell were these people? So Richard, you might want to hit your white button so you're actually recording.
That's just space.
Do I put this on too?
What's that? Not yet. Until we separate, you'll see how this works. So who the heck were Eliza and Charles Pinckney? They had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 different Chucks, in case you weren't paying attention. That's why we look for secondary clues. I need to know which Charles you guys are getting, so that way I know how to address them. Getting my point? Now, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. That's a big deal for us, but I hate politics more than anybody here, so we're going to move on. If I don't give them that recognition, they'll do it for me nastily through a spirit box. So I make sure I give it to them every single night, and we'll move on to Eliza Pinckney. That's where our story begins. Eliza has a much better story anyway. Eliza marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. If you're going to ask her how old she was, do not expect numbers from the colonial times that she came from, like 12 and 14, when young ladies got married. Think of today's standards, because the husband was over double her age when they married. Creepy then, creepy now. Yes, I've seen that look on your face. So, I'll tell you a funny story about that, because I actually had somebody with the exact same age gap on my tour one night, and they were like, Nick, put your foot in your mouth. I'm like, nope, not going to do it. Funnier part of that story is I actually had our newspaper team following me around doing a front page cover story on what I do out here. And I was like, all right, you guys need to stop recording. You guys get the point. It was fun. Anyway, back to Eliza. So she marries Charles because her father's over in England. He thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his kids home one last time so he can see him. Eliza doesn't believe he's dying. Instead, she stays put, gets married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that year to get a green card because we are not a country yet. So this was a true love story. This place actually, we need to show respect while we're here. It's not always going to be a horrific thing you find on TV. And she was correct. Dad did not die right away. Instead, he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. Indigo is a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. Some of you guys are wearing this tonight. So that's how we use it. When she got her seeds, she didn't know what to do with them. She had to learn from the servants and slaves how to keep it cultivated. we're all bundled up. It doesn't stay hot here, guys, I promise you. So when she learned how to keep it going, she learned how to make the dye, moved it to a cash crop plantation down by the Stono River, got a hold of Dad and told him rice plantation prices are going downhill. We're going to make a killing with the indigo. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. Something absolutely unheard of. So that's the boring business shit, Eliza. Let's get into the weird stuff, because that's why you guys are here. Yeah. So, what do you got going? Is it the sign? Yeah. And that's normally what it'll look like.
I love it.
Somebody moving around. So he's got it recording, so I'll definitely make notes and take a look at it.
Yeah, well, freeway streets I know is about 3.3, but I never know.
It's not supposed to hold. That's how you know it's not anything man-made. So I'll
got
take
to
down to 3.3.
3.3. Yeah.
Perfect. Keep escalating those numbers. So don't give me anything below that 3.3 at this point.
7.1.
7.1?
Yeah, remember you started.
Okay. It'll go much higher than that. I almost guarantee it in this location. So with this spot, I like to kind of keep it controlled. So I'm going to go around with all of the people with communication devices and give you a set of questions to focus on. You can say them out loud or just focus on them. However you want to do it. No right or wrong way to do this. Eliza already knows that we're here, obviously. I'll give you more about that later on. So we're going to start with Grace. So Grace and Patty, you guys are going to have the same set of questions because you're using the same type of spirit box. So, and keep in mind, we do have 2 cameras running, my voice recorder, plus all of the other communication devices. If, let's say, Kara's asking a question, one of you could get the answer. It can go anywhere. That's the beauty of why we do this. That's why you're going to tell me all the silly things. You guys are going to focus on Eliza's death. She's pretty open about talking about it. How old she was, what she died from, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. Those are the 4 major questions that we commonly get answers to. If you ask anything else on your own, just make sure that A, it's respectful, and 2, it's not a yes-no question. So that way we can actually verify the answer. So, who's next on my list? So, Kara, I think you're the only other one with a communication device. So we'll talk about yours here in just a second, but the mansion's not here anymore. Ask what happened to it. Obviously, it's a tragedy. Secondly, if you get the what, which could come up anywhere, we often will get 2 or 3 numbers of the date to kind of verify that tragedy. So it's a very big deal. And I'm giving you that very simplistic set of questions is because your device only gives us 1 to 2 syllables at a time. So they may hear full phrases, you may get 1 to 2 syllables at a time. So with Steven's device and Ann's device, you guys are going to be getting the same set as well, just because they kind of show up the same way. So you're going to be looking for Eliza's initials.
Did I see anything? I saw a guy walk past.
But when I tried to get your attention, it jumped up to 2.7.
Which one it is. Charles actually had 2 wives named Eliza back to back. Ironically, they both had maiden names that started with the letter L.
No, I didn't see anything at all. I saw the guy walk past, and that was it. I've been kind of looking. I'm not seeing anything weird or anything yet.
It could also be a collectible that happens at the mansion. So we already have it. Looks like our word list is going to be pretty fruitful tonight. So at this point, now that you know that it burned down, you're going to be asking, when did that burn down? So let's spread out in here. Let's stay away from the vehicles. I know we only have 4 in here tonight, but we're actually fortunate for this being a Saturday and there's only 4 vehicles in here.
And one of them's ours,
One of
so.
us is. Oh, which one's yours?
The truck.
Oh, wonderful. All right, everybody go jump on Steven. Yeah. So, Steve, I am going to keep you behind to show you how to use that a little bit more. Everybody else spread out. I'm going to do a round robin with everybody to kind of see what's going on with your devices, and then I'll regroup us. All right, so. By the way, what's your relationship here? Okay. Never like this? All right, so this one.
I thought I saw something like that. No, it's anything.
asking what the second number is. The year that it burned down. So what year did it burn down?
What color is indigo? Closely related
What
to?
color did the year?
I heard something like that.
7? I'm not getting any numbers for the year it burned down.
What was Pinckney's first name?
Is that what you're asking? See anything?
Mr. Pinckney's first name.
Which Pinckney? Which Pinckney are you talking to?
What was the crop that South Carolina is known for?
Ooh, that's good.
Is there anybody hanging out here with us tonight? I'd like to see if there's anybody else here tonight. I'd like to see if there's anybody else here tonight. Can you show yourself? What used to be on the spot where we were standing? I heard something in your box. Mr. Pinckney, what was your first name, Mr. Pinckney?
Getting any information, are you?
Let's see
I'm asking
anything.
for the year. I'm asking for the specific year, and I don't have any numbers yet. What year would it have been? 19. I heard 1.
1700s.
17.
What year did you die? 1700s?
Year 9?
Who was with us here tonight?
You never know, though. She could get something. $1,000. Someone said 843.
Is there anybody hanging out with us here tonight?
Over here, Brand?
Not getting any years.
What are we hearing out of your guys'?
I heard 1,000, but I don't know
1,000.
what that means.
Yeah.
Just 1,000.
Again, yours isn't easy either because
Yeah.
it's not going to give you as much
Yeah.
as the other two.
It's okay.
But what you guys will get will be more accurate, so I always write down
Okay,
whatever you
1,000.
hear.
Definitely 1,000 multiple times.
Okay.
It's interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
And that's why I like to put that with a tag team, so that way there's
Yeah.
two people listening. Now, the people with the headphones, I used to use earbuds, but they weren't of great quality. So I decided to actually upgrade and use a brand name headphone,
Yeah.
so that way with earbuds, they were able to share. So two people could literally walk side by
Right,
side and they
that's
could both
true
listen.
here.
But the quality sucked. So
Yeah.
I changed it up because they were missing so much. So I was like, let me just get the focus back to one person at a time.
Interesting.
And we just went to
The
the JVCs.
headphones.
Yeah, the regular headphones. But yeah, this is how this rolls. This is what we're
Okay.
going to be doing at each location.
Okay.
Each one's a little bit
Sweet.
different than the next one. You'll see that. But in between spaces, don't forget, I do want you to listen to that, even though he's not going to be recording.
Right.
Just because
You never know.
it gives you something in between. Obviously, some of our walks might be 2 or 3 minutes, and you might get something in between now because they know we're coming.
Okay.
So
Got it. So just keep it on now.
yeah, keep it on now. When I regroup us for all of the answers,
Okay.
you'll mute it again when I'm talking to the group.
Okay.
That's usually the cue. If I'm talking to the group, put it on mute.
Right.
My ear is trained for that, and I'm actually struggling even talking to you because all I want to do is listen.
Listen.
And if I'm
Wow.
telling you a history, I don't want to screw it up for everybody else by
Right,
repeating
by
something.
repeating it. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate it. That's great.
I see a red barn over there.
See what?
I see a red barn over there. What do they do with the red barn?
I don't know. I'm asking her if she had any animals. What animals did you have?
Do they have any names of any animals?
Yeah, what animal names?
The
That's a
animals
good
have
one.
names.
It's freezing. Let's go over this way.
So what kind of animals do they have?
Oh, wait.
I kind of saw a little blotch show up, but
Associates. Let's go over this way, Britt.
okay. Go here. I'm slowly walking over here at this dumpster. What was over in this part of the parking lot? Can anybody talk to me about that?
Hear anything?
Huh. Boy, it sure is cold today.
19.
I didn't know South
She's hot
Carolina
over here.
got this cold. Hot over here?
Right here. Said 19. It's not 19.
19? Is it 17, 19?
Her 19.
What year? 17?
I don't know. Ask her how she died.
How old were you when you died? I heard it say
9.
something.
Another 9.
9?
It's like the 15th time I've heard 9. Nine again.
Number 9, huh? What was here on this spot? What used to be here?
Oh. Okay.
Actually, we can go over to this pad. You guys hear anything else?
9.
9?
Like so many times.
The number 9?
9. It's weird.
You keep getting things in repetitive motions. So did you break it? Is it on loop? That was a joke.
Really weird. I'm like, I don't know.
I have a really weird sense of humor, everybody.
That's okay.
Very quirky. A lot of people
9.
like refer to me as like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory because I just talk in weird quirky things. If you have a camera, go ahead and hit that stop button and give your hands a break.
Shut my.
The other down the alley. If other tours are going to come through here, they'll come in the same way we did, or they will come out of that ivy wall right there. There's kind of a little pass-through. So just kind of keep that in mind and just be aware of our surroundings. So Logan, you might not get anything here.
Zeroed out.
You were at a 2 when you showed it to me, but you also moved it. That's also energy that it's measuring. So let's kind of get into why we're here. So this particular location is kind of a staple for every ghost tour in Charleston. This is actually the space I'm looking to take out after today. If I can do it based on what we're going to be doing with our new location that we're going to be experimenting with later. Every year I take out one space and I have a new one. For 1 year, last year I was looking to take out the Pinckney Mansion site because I was getting like disrespectful ghost hunters on your end. Like, come on, Elijah, give me some answers, and then they go take a leak in the corner. And I was getting very nasty messages through Spirit Box. So I decided to give it a few weeks break. And every night before I meet with you guys on the corner by Big John's, I go through that lot and tell Eliza how many people I have in all of your names. Just as a respect factor, it's kind of a little pact that I made with her a few months back. So I do that literally every night, and that is one of the most active spaces. I have a hard time taking that on my own. This space, I'm having a hard time with it as well because we still get a lot out of it. I wanted to take it out because every ghost tour comes down here, and if you've been on a ghost tour in Charleston, you've been here. So we're still going to talk about it in a little bit different manner because you're ghost hunting, not on a cheesy campfire marshmallow ghost tour. So let's get into it. This is Philadelphia Alley now, but it used to be called Duelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So I say some of them because dueling was illegal in the 1700s and you had to find a hiding spot to go do it. This happened to be one of those spots. We all talk about the same duel because we can actually prove that it happened. So let's kind of get into it. The Ouija board device is important here. You're going to be looking for the letters R-I in that order, not reversed. Just kind of keep that in mind.
I'm not sure if it just said 2 people in here. I'm not sure that. I'm not sure.
Imagine that. Talking about doing
I'm not sure.
But again, it's always about your first instinct. Something you heard that was very right. So here's how this goes. A doctor moves down here from Rhode Island. There's your first R.I. So you have that idea. So he moves down here. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. If Spirit Box people that you're listening to your Spirit Boxes, and you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl while we're here, it's not coincidence. It's part of his name. We get it all the time. We had it 15 nights ago. Anyway, Dr. Ladd moves here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She is an attorney, helping her out with all of this cash flow that she just got. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. So he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. Dr. Ladd comes here to Charleston to prove that he's not. So on his way into town, the coachman that brought him in set him up to be robbed and killed. It wasn't a good start. It's like having a bad Uber driver. He drops you off and he's got a gunman at the door trying to kill you. So somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen. His name, Ralph Isaacs. Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from. I was getting the letters R.I. on the devices that Grace and Patty are using, so I bought the Ouija board device to get the verification. So we have gotten it in the past, 7-8 months that I've had it, whenever I bring up Ralph's name. Anyway, back to Ralph. He tells the doctor, dude, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me. We're going to go to 59 Church Street. I got friends there. You can rent a room. You'll be safe. The doctor took him up on the offer. The 2 gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. Proving his point. He's not after Amanda's money. She gets wind of this and she's coming down so they can be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor because he whistled all the time. Every tour that comes down here tells you to listen for the whistles. We're going to talk about those whistles in just a minute. I will tell you that every haunted city you're ever going to visit is going to have a haunted whistling ghost. So that's part of the reason I wanted to take this out. Dr. Ladd and Ralph, they go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor about this actress that they saw from Richard III play, and they're walking home. They're arguing over this actress because Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph didn't. It turns into an argument, and Ralph starts insulting the doctor's fiance, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly, and they go their separate ways. Ralph has friends at the newspaper, though. They put an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thinks of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. Doc saw the ad, but we probably will. Let's go to Dueler's Alley. Somebody's going to die. Keep in mind, this argument started over in Actress. About it. But anyway, they came down, they took her 10 paces away from each other, they turned, the doctor points his gun in the air. Shoots. He did not want to kill a friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. Ralph has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doc. The doc doesn't die. He fell to the ground. His friends pick him up, took him home to 59 Church, where he died 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786. He also refused medical treatment. I didn't point out 2 things. In 1786, gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than they are now. He's also a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but he obviously didn't because he died. Now, every ghost tour, like I said, tells you to listen for the whistles. We have 2 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a whistle, more than likely it's going to be on one of those 3 devices. However, our spirit boxes, one of the ones that are recording, can't tell you how many times we've had the whistling part of a song and then the word doctor from a commercial come up immediately after. Doctor, get it all the time. I can't tell you how many times that has actually come up in the 4 years I've been coming here. So, we also got other things like Amanda, 59, so forth and so on. What was exciting last night was the Ouija board device actually spelled out something the minute we came in that was relevant that I don't always talk about. But let me point out a few things. And I just wanted to remind myself, like, it was really cool last night. If you're going to try this on your own and walk all the way through the alley with the voice recorders from your phone trying to capture whistles, just keep in mind that every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen throws a whistle down the alley. I used to do it every single morning when I was done with your data. First one to do it. My office is up here. My old garage is down here. I used to throw a whistle at like 4 in the morning every single day. So I actually been thrown out of here. So that's part of the reason why I always throw the whistle. Let's talk about that. It's because you got to look on your fuzz like, who the hell did we sign up with? Who's this criminal? So this alley didn't go all the way through. The reason why is because this is where we kept the livestock in the city of Charleston. This used to be called Cow Alley. We walked in here last night. The word cow was spelled out for us on the river board. So I was like, that was my super exciting piece of the night because that thing has never spelled out the word cow before. We got a story coming through here, so Brent, you might want to lower your hand. There you go. You have bacon? Bacon. Cows, chickens, and pigs. We're down here.
Yeah,
Bacon.
Got a whole breakfast. You're getting it all. Anyway, so back to the point of how I got thrown out of here. It wasn't about cows and chickens and bacon, apparently. But anyway, so that means that the bricks down there on that end are older than the ones we're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there with fingerprint swipes and others. I used to take my groups all the way through here to show them that piece of history. Nothing paranormal about it. I treat that brick the same way I do a grave. That kid's not there. That's the last place you're going to find him. However, November 26th of 2020, my entire group of 10, same size as you guys, mine plus 1, was huddled around that brick waiting for something to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along because I know nothing's going to happen, and I'm trying to be respectful to the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I didn't realize I was out of bounds. The new owner of that mansion came out screaming because we're standing outside his dining room window with a bunch of blinky light devices, and he didn't really care for them. He came out, my daughter thought it was great, by the way, because she was on the tour that night, and my dad was getting yelled at. She thought it was hysterical. So we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't work on Thanksgiving simply because I worked in upper retail management for Walmart for over 10 years, and you guys like to fight over cows on Thanksgiving, scarring me for life. So I don't do Thanksgiving anymore. I own my own company now. So the next day I called my partner and I told him what happened. He giggled at me just the way my daughter did and said, dude, you're not allowed to go down that way. It's residential. You have to go down halfway or reroute your group. I said, well, damn. I had to reroute my group because I'm sold out again for Black Friday. I told my group, I don't believe in the next story where I have to take you because we have to go that way because I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. We're talking about pirates next in case nobody picked up on that. Somebody heard the name Anne on a spirit box before we left. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The famous female pirate, Anne Bonny. So I went, well, damn it. Maybe we are going to get something. We go up and around the corner. I told them what I did know about piracy in Charleston. Not much, by the way. Less than a day to research. Somebody else heard the number 300 coming out of theirs. I don't know what that one means. I write it down. I do the research. We were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. The exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So, yeah, that's normally the reaction that I get from you guys. I was actually pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing. When I'm doing this, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy. That's a lot of books I have to read to be able to verify our 15 minutes of fame that I give us every single night. Not to mention the documentaries, the video games I play, and all of the extra things that my wife says, oh, this is about pirates. Is it another Anne Bonny story? And she throws it in my lap saying, great, now I have more shit to read. So everything we're going to be discussing at the next location came from a minimum of 2 resources. Just keep that in mind. So roll of the dice if she'll be there. It's a big 50-50 roll of the dice. I'll explain that once we get there, but you may get things bleed over from this location as well. So that does include anything from Dr. Ladd, Cow Alley, any of those kind of things that we've already discussed here. Before we leave the space, I'll explain the gate and why I stop here. First off, it gives me the halfway point of where the wall used to be in the alley where they blocked it off. Secondly, I told you that there was a wall there, so if there was a loser to a duel down here, this was the shortcuts to get to the cemetery on the other side of the wall. Otherwise, they're carrying a dead body all the way down to Queen Street and doubling back with it before they could go celebrate the winner with a pint. So Richard appreciates that history. He looked at me with a big shitty grin on his face. Good old tall pint sounds good right now. But again, I just like to point out the gate. The wrought iron was probably put here in the early 1900s, but you can see that the archway is definitely part of the original alleyway. So we are going to go out the way we came in. We'll stop our cameras. I normally say go ahead and keep them running, but we're going to be passing through a tour. And we're just going to go up and around the corner. We're going to talk about Anne Bonny, and then we'll be able to spread out like what we're doing. Our last 2 stops are not going to be in the same fashion of what we've been doing. I will explain those before we leave the next stop. So I do like to change it up because, again, you hit the same 5 spots with the same type of materials and the same type of methods, and it gets a little dry. So I decided to shake it up a little bit. Did we get anything on our spirit boxes? Were you two listening, or are you guys focused on me?
I'm trying to do both, but I did get battle here.
Battle here. I like
earlier.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the one thing I said here.
Okay. How's our word list coming? What are we doing there? Last 3 terms?
Payment, break, fee, bacon, conduct.
Bacon popped up when you mentioned
Bacon and feed. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, there
Well,
would
when
have
you
been
started, as soon as you said the cow, then bacon came.
bacon and then feed. Yeah. So feed the pig to get bacon, or get the chicken feed to make the chickens. All right. Any words, any letters that I need to know about on your end? And of course, Kara was on mute. And no readings from you two gentlemen over there in
I'm
the
still
corner?
zeroed out.
Well, interesting. Okay. I'm not surprised, but I was hoping that we would get a little bit more. Just because we've been getting a little small spikes from here and there, but you've been at 0s and like 2s, so on your and Logan, so a little disappointing, but again, I can't make this shit up. You guys are you're the ones doing the work, so get my point. All right, let's go interrupt that tour. And they're all going to look at you and say, they have equipment. Like, trust me, just wait for it. Again, you're the weirdos. Let's do
Put this on now?
I would unmute it once we pass.
Okay.
Lights here, turn us off.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was trained before Daddy.
Train, or singer, train, daddy. We had some Colorado before, so someone Colorado was a singer.
I'm thinking singers on last. We are next to a cemetery. Things bleed over all the time. And you have access
House
to
here?
What's that?
Is there an old building here?
Dude, I just saw a light just go across. There's like no reason for a light to do that.
Okay. We're going to talk more about the but anyway, back to the names and the nationalities or origin. Sometimes like it'll be like Grace,
I
Florida.
just saw a light go
And I
across.
don't know that I have a Grace from Florida coming until I go over and I'm like, oh shit, there's a Grace, and I just heard that name.
You mean like on this?
So again,
No,
they can't
I really saw it across the building.
So anyway, let's kind of go over why we're here because the story can be lengthy if like interrupted with all the cool stuff that's going on with your guys' gear. So let's get into that little tiny building in the front. That's why the other ghost tours come here. We're just going to look at it in a much different light. I talked very fast during this history, except for some of the twists, because we are going to be talking about a kick-ass female pirate, and it can get a little twisty. So I'll slow down on the twist and make sure you grab them. But I'll talk just like this through the rest of the story because there's a lot of data. That building is the gunpowder magazine. So it actually is a museum now. If you ever need to get out of our heat or cold, it's a good $5 to spend on a ticket.
Yeah, we did that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very cool in there. But those are not crosses on the outside of the building. Those are earthquake bolts. If you're not familiar with what that is, it's basically a turnbuckle. It goes all the way through the building. Looks just like that on the other side. If we have another earthquake, like what we did in 1886, which we have not, by the way, you can turn the turnbuckles and it'll tighten the building. So that way it doesn't incur further damage. It's a great idea. It just doesn't work. So the only reason I bring it up is because you guys have seen them all over town, and including the apartment building behind it also has earthquake bolts on every single floor. But you guys have seen them in the shape of lion heads, pineapples, all kinds of Charleston charm bullshit. That's why they're there. It's Charleston charm bullshit. So those ones I'm pointing out on purpose because it's part of the reason why we're here. That's the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. The reason why is because that is the oldest government building in Charleston, actually South Carolina, to be honest about it. It was finished in 1713. That building was being constructed at the same time that Anne Bonny was coming here to start her new life. This is what I call a familiar. You guys all watch the TV shows, even if you fall asleep during them, right? You still seen those Boo Buddies. That's the teddy bear with the blinky light
Yes.
K2 in it. They use that to get a child to recognize it as a toy, so that way they come close. Same principle. We don't have any buildings this old that Anne would actually recognize from her era. That's why we're here. That's why this is a roll of the dice if she'll be here at the same time that we are, because we do have a handful. She might be here, she might be somewhere else. So let's kind of get into her history. The building took 10 years to build. Does that sound like our government? Small building? 10 years? No, not our government. So, I know, wow, I got some good chuckles out of that one. But anyway, 1708 is right where our history with Anne begins. This is where the twists are. Young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Y'all with me so far? Okay, good. The three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. How pissed was that wife that she kicked them out of the country, by the way? There's no planes, only by boat. So they landed in Georgetown. That's between us and Myrtle Beach. So Dad bought a plantation up there, and Mom dies pretty quickly. That means Dad now has to send young Anne down here to Charlestown to sell things from that plantation to help keep things afloat. So, back home in Ireland, we're going to take a step backwards for just a second. Anne was said to be a badass even when she was a young girl. At the age of 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore, nothing is exact, they say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. Can't tell you how many times servant, knife, or belly has shown up on all three different spirit boxes. You guys will know what's happening. So again, that's where I collect everything. You guys get it. Fast forward, the building's done in 1713, but by 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. Reason why? She's gonna fall in love with one of these guys so she can earn her freedom, just like a man. Yeah, right? So Grace is like, yeah, this isn't turning out the way I wanted it to. She just gave me that weird glare. Anyway, so first guy she falls in love with, and I said first because there is a handful. That's what makes the story, guys. We're gonna cover them all. The first guy is James Bonny. You already know where that one goes, right? Dad didn't approve. He's a filthy pirate. They ran away to Jamaica. They got married. Anne Cormac became Anne Bonny. Do you guys already know this story already?
No,
Okay.
he's a character from one of our shows.
Oh yeah, I already know what show you're talking about. I'm getting to him. So, with that said, when she gets down into Jamaica and she looks at her husband, she realizes this is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. This guy turns out to be a privateer. He's a spy for the British. He's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. This guy is John Rackham, guy number 2. Everybody calls him Calico Jack. This is the guy they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case you were wondering. So, Calico Jack has his own ship, he has his own crew, and wants to be part of the crew. You can't put a female on a pirate ship. Does anybody know why? Thank you for keeping it family friendly, dude. That was not the answer I was expecting out of you. So,
Well, we can all imagine.
yeah. Well, normally when I have kids in the tour, I don't throw that question out there because all the parents shuffle like, I'm not answering that. You know, it's kind of funny. But anyway, he makes a deal with Anne. If you dress like a guy and look like my crew, you can be part of the crew. She's okay with this because Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. I told you, this story is twisted. You're looking around like, oh shit. So you get the...
Cross-dressing back then.
Yeah, she's okay. She gets it. It's a man's world. But let's put 2 and 2 together. We're all adults. She's a female in Jack's quarters. She's eventually going to get pregnant. You can't have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. And then they're going to get rid of Jack as captain because there's a democracy on every ship. They'll vote him off. So he drops her off in Cuba before she starts the show and says, has the baby here. These are friends of mine. They'll help you out. We'll come back later. We'll figure it out when you get back. She goes and has that baby, but returns without a baby. We have no idea what happened to the child. None of my research has ever discovered it. She also comes back dressed as a female. This is what makes Jack pretty pissed off. To make him even more pissed off, Anne's gonna go flirting with the pirate crew he just captured. They're down below deck. We're on guy number 3, in case you guys lost track. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy, to be part of the crew that Calico Jack just captured. So now we have 2 females, dressed like males, on the same ship, trying to be pirates. Her name, Mary Reed. Now Mary and Anne became friends for sure, but maybe lovers. We're not gonna really know for sure. But the British find out where they are. They send a whole fleet of Navy ships to come take down one pirate ship. The rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates not drunk enough to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlocks. They don't know how to use cannons yet. They haven't been pirates for very long. Not to mention, they've been hiding out. So, obviously, two ladies with one bullet guns can't take on a whole fleet of ships. They get arrested. And as they're being arrested, Anne looks at her captain in bow, Calico Jack, and she says, "I'm so sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up on your communication devices a lot, by the way. Now, the judge wants to see the two men that fought back on their own. So, he's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight. They are dead and gone. So the two ladies go in front of the judge, they reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves, and the judge could give a shit that they are female. They are still pirates. He's still gonna hang them. They scream out, "We plead our bellies," meaning they are claiming to be pregnant. You cannot hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. So he delays the hanging, sends them both back to jail. Remember, Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. He bails out Anne and brings her home. She remarries. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're gonna count Mary because we don't really know. She has 4 kids, dies at the age of 84.
Wow.
Very abrupt ending because we really don't know jack about her after her pirate career. It's all for speculation, and I don't like to spread rumors. I'm giving you the things that were common among all of my research. Mary Read died 5 months later in a Jamaican jail from whatever pirates died from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most references will tell you that it was something simple like fever. I say let's make it romantic, call it scurvy. I don't give a damn. So, no, here's what I left out. This is not a controlled environment for me. Again, we're talking about a kick-ass pirate. She can take it. This is not a prominent English woman that we need to tiptoe around. You guys have already heard me say the phrase "know your ghost" several times. This is, again, one of those instances. Here's what I left out. I left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents. That's the father and the mistress. You can ask what those are. I also left out the city where she grew up in Ireland, the name of Calico Jack's ship, and the color of Anne's hair. You can ask whatever you want to here. I just like to give you guys a few leading questions of things we've gotten the answers to in the past. Your camera likes to act up in here, Brant, just so you know. So if you start to see like white staticky lines like an old tube TV, please let me know.
Okay.
Trying to think what else. EMF readings. The closer you get to those bushes, you're going to get readings from the parking meters on the other side. The corners have 2 giant electrical poles that do give off about a 3 to a 7. So I'm more excited about the EMF readings on the back half, so the two of you kind of get that idea. Spirit box work and the other pieces will all work in tandem. Hopefully you guys will start getting some answers. Keep track on your phone like you've been doing. I see a lot of people doing that. I thought about like handing out like little notebooks like mine, but it's so much easier for you guys to use your own phones. But yeah, let's spread out. Let's have a good time, and then I'll explain the last 2 stops before we leave here.
Okay. Go over here.
What's the show, by the way? Maybe I didn't reference it.
What color is their hair? Anne's hair? What color is Anne's hair?
I need some hair.
What are your parents' names?
Ship. Ship name.
Is it a ship name?
Very loud.
What's loud?
Just loud. I am.
You're okay.
There's nothing. I'm not getting any. 0. I'll try over here. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
Justin?
Justin.
Did you hear Justin?
Deep male voice.
Yes. That's really cool. What the hell is that? Oh, is that a cat? Hi, kitty, kitty. Hi. Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty. Got some feral cats.
Huh?
We have some feral cats
Is it
hanging out.
pregnant?
I don't know, it looks like it is.
I don't think so.
Oh no? Okay, what are the names of your parents?
All I heard was justice. There was something
What
else.
is the mom's name?
Yeah, keep coming this way. No, go over here. Oh, did you hear that noise?
What was that?
Keep coming. What? I can't understand it.
No. What color is your hair?
What was that?
Hmm. I'm supposed to let them know if there's any staticky things going on over here, right? Let's go over here.
I'm not getting very much this time over here. By this thing. I'm gonna go toward this side.
Where did you die at?
What was that right?
Can you tell me where you died?
Justin.
Again, this whole place is messy. I'm hoping that we look at it and those weird noises. Just said Antoni's the best. What's that? Kara, what you got?
Justin, like the loudest in that corner. Justin. I heard it and they heard it too.
Justin.
It was like scream Justin was so loud.
Deep male
I don't know. We all heard it. It was so
Yeah.
clear.
20 feet away.
And it was loud. I don't know. Just right in that corner over there. Nothing else though.
I'm still blown away that other tour guide was endorsing me. I know. That's pretty sweet. I don't have friends or anything.
I think a bunch of like little orbs or something on here.
You are?
Looking it back on.
Oh. That's probably people. No. That's a cemetery over there. All right, Ian, come on. Tell me anything about
Oh, there's definitely a. Oh, it's the cat. Is it the cat right there? Hey. Hi there. Wow, everything just got real orangey red all of a sudden. Maybe that's because of lack of people here. Oh.
What is it?
No, I just didn't have any people on the screen.
I know. That's what I was hoping. Like something was going to trigger.
Everything just turned orange. But I didn't have any people on the screen.
I can't tell.
Something was orange on the screen. Here's the cat.
It was the cat. I bet that was really weird, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like it's just like running through stations. Yeah, I keep asking, like, what color is your hair? Where'd you grow up?
Send us your info on it so we can find it.
It's all at the top of your
Where's that?
It's at the top of your data page.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
gonna send you because everybody asks.
Okay.
Weird thing, that's just tree.
So,
I'm not getting
just play one
anything.
more time. This thing is loud.
Some dark spots on the screen.
Screen contacts are cool. I was almost going to start one. I never got the time to do it. I know. I just never got the time to do it. I had it ready to go, but I work for a school. So I was like, well, that's like...
Little kitty on the screen. Hey! Hi, little kitty.
What was that?
Something. Did you ever have a cat? Did you have a cat? What's the cat's name? What is this cat's name?
Last one, what?
Tell me about the color of your hair. What color is your hair?
This is real. I'm going to go over this Justin area. Can we go over this Justin area?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Justin, tell me a little bit about yourself. What did you do for a living, Justin?
I think get Justin over here. Alright, let's see. Questions.
What were the names of your parents? What was your father's name?
Is that you?
What was your father's name?
You hear it, John? Very active right here.
This is where I'm getting the most
Yeah.
answers. Alright, I'm not getting anything.
Can you show up on my thermal camera, please?
I'm not getting anything over here. Can you?
I can't see you. Where are you?
Can you go over here?
Who is here with us right now? Are you able to tell us how you died?
I heard sword.
Sword?
Uh-huh. I just heard sword. I don't know what that means. Is he leaving? Come on, Boo.
and the church bells go off, I'm going to apologize ahead of time. Just, yeah, it's pretty nuts because they will go off while we're here. So here's what goes on and why we're actually here. Spirit boxes, I definitely want you to listen in, except for Kara. I'm sorry. You actually have a pretty big role in the next location.
Oh, that's okay.
So I got
I'm
you.
okay.
So we're here because a person was murdered 2 blocks from here. I know that sounds funny of why we stop here, but I told you I have limitations. This is as far as I'm allowed to take you. So I chose this location because the woman that was murdered is buried in St. Michael's Churchyard right over there. So that's why we're here. Here's the story. Here's what I know so far. November 1st, 1933. A woman falls to the ground. Her name was Mary Ravenel. Came here from Mount Pleasant. You came over the Ravenel Bridge. That should tell you how prominent of a name that is here in Charleston. So I will also tell you, I was intending to not do this session on Fridays and Saturdays because of the foot traffic and obviously the regular car traffic, because this can be pretty intense for the listener. Back to Mary. She fell to the ground and said, "A man hit me. I'm in pain and it hurts me so." Somebody saw her on the ground driving by. Mind you, it's 1933, so just imagine the car that was driving by was probably badass back then, right? They stopped, helped her out, but they also helped her into their car where they took her to the hospital. It was about 3 to 4 miles from here, where MUSC sits now. Okay, nice. So they take her down there. She has a doctor and she has a nurse trying to help her out, trying to figure out what's wrong with her. And all the doctor knows is that a man hit her. She dies on their table. The doctor's name was Dr. Avery Finger. I say it slowly because we've had both names show up here while talking about this. The nurse's name, I can only assume she was female because we don't know her first name, was Nurse Glasscock. Now, when she dies on their table, they don't know what happened. So they send her over to the coroner in the autopsy room, and they find a scrape underneath her right arm, and then a bullet hole in her rib cage. It went into her rib cage, close to her heart. She died of internal bleeding. Now, Mary Ravenel's jewelry was still intact. There was no gun residue left on her body whatsoever. What questions do we want to know? Who was it and why? Random kill. So an accident. When you just got that? Okay, interesting. Because there's a few pieces that we've been getting regularly. The William was funny because you got it over here when it's really Aunt Bonnie's name. I was hoping for it back there. But this William person might be the shooter. All she said was a man hit her. What other questions would we ask?
Where were you?
Well,
We
I
know
know.
first.
Is it daytime or nighttime?
Daytime. This woman was. What's that? She was widowed. So, possibly. She also was 64 years old when she passed away. So, I'd like to point that out too. This is why I like to reveal the clues slowly. So that way you guys come up with questions and I tell you what I know so far. Don't know. It's a possibility. One of the accidents that was presumed is that she had her own .38 special gun in her handbag and tripped. It fell and the gun went off, but there was no gun residue on her body. However, if it was in her purse or handbag, there may not have been residue on her body because it went off in the purse and basically it went through it but didn't leave any residue on the body. It only made the hole. So, again, it's a possibility, but that was a family member that actually accused of basically an accident or a suicide. Questions. I'll tell you what we've caught so far. In the background, nice quiet night, no cars. We actually heard a woman in the background scream, "Help, help," in the distance. Nobody's around us. The guy caught it in real time. I actually was able to capture it in the recording as well. About a week after that, we hear, "I fell down, you need to help me." Like, that was crazy. And that was off in the distance as well. We've also had some whispers, but I couldn't make out what the whispers were. One evening, you guys were coming up with like, "Oh, what did the man look like? You know, did you see them?" Those are the kinds of questions they were coming up with, and the person with the spirit box screams out, "It was a black man." They weren't even paying attention to the story, like they almost wanted to go into it blind. So we don't know. Ironically, the next night with the AI imagery thing that we're doing next right here, relatively close in proximity, we had an image of a black man basically standing in front of a like brick wall that you would consider a jail cell. So you have to take these things in stride of what they actually are. This whole thing with Mary Ravenel was inspired by this blindfold test that we're about to go through because I was getting images. I didn't know what was going on and where these images were coming from. And I have a lot that pertains to this. Very interesting piece.
You said she was a widow?
Yes. died. So it's almost like giving us a description. It's kind of weird. Yeah. I don't know. Like, if I'm gonna look at like the suspects and see if there is a William in that suspect.
I turn this way.
I don't really look at that as far as the direction, but I get your point. You're looking at her grave. I don't know where the grave is in retrospect of the church and where we're standing. All I know is it's in that graveyard. I'm not always down here early enough to where the churchyard is open for me to go left. Are we hearing anything on your end? Nothing at all? Grace, have you heard anything? Nothing. Any questions you would want to know? No? You're like, nope, not into murder mysteries. Not my thing.
This was in the 30s.
33.
So there's still a lot of black-white hate going on.
Quite a bit. And this woman was well known around town.
Now, did she have any like servants?
It's a good possibility. Probably. I'm going to say a more than likely.
Could have been somebody who had enough.
Yep, could have been. Again, being a widow, she's well dressed. Yep. The weird thing was that her jewelry was intact. That was weird. It was definitely not property. It was revenge. Yeah. What's funny is the Ouija board device actually spelled out the word job when somebody actually asked, which was like a mob name, and then the word job spelled out. Like it was like somebody paid to have her hit. Could be. All right. Anybody else? Tombstone. Tombstone. Yeah. Visitor. Put her next to our tombstone. His name is William. He was thin. Anybody else want to give this crazy set of headphones a listen before we wrap this up? Okay, want to listen in for a minute? Sorry, you got to hand them over. Yeah. So we're going to slap those over your ears. We'll give you about a minute on there. Conversation behind you.
All right.
Guys, no sh- What's his temperature reading?
Did you hear something? Somebody walking over top of the wood, so I'm just marking that for myself. Listening. This is a recording, guys, that I do listen from start to finish. This way I get to study it. This is the new device that I just purchased and I'm learning more about. So I actually did a podcast episode on this so I can actually have other investigators who have this reach out to me with their settings to see what they taught and how they taught it. So again, I'm not too stupid to say I don't know everything about this device. Somebody come and teach me something. So again, it's meant for musicians. So hopefully somebody's going to reach out and tell me what their settings are because I put my settings out there on the podcast as well so they can see what I've done and the things I've caught so far. Very interesting as a long term. Just wait till you take them off. Most people say, why don't we hear things like this? Just chuckle. It's like a ha-ha. Somebody in the background. Okay. We can't make it out. Still whispering? Sometimes it's a little intense for people. Oh, fair enough. Alright, I'm going to put an end to this, and I think what we're going to do...
So we're in our last little stage of our tour with Harrington
I
Road.
was afraid to rip it. I'm like, I can't get my fingers.
Yeah, I did. You see my jeans too.
I did, when I was
Oh my
walking up.
gosh.
Alright, so here's what to expect. So I guess we'll start off with the blindfold piece. So you're going to be telling us everything you hear, including yes/no questions, because you don't know what the questions are.
Okay.
You're going to keep it up loud enough to where you can't hear me. Don't put that on yet. Just hang on to it. But it will go over your ears.
Okay.
And it, again, I thought of the ladies when I bought these, so that way I wasn't screwing up somebody's hair.
I don't know.
So yeah, those are ear holes. And then you'll put the headphones over top of that. So when you're under, you will kind of tell us what you're hearing, everything that you're hearing, and hopefully it's going to look like a conversation. Even yes/no answers, because I might ask you guys to go how you fast. I'm expecting you to say yes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
These
So even if you hear a weird
handheld
sound,
game.
let us know what that sound is. But tell us, hey, this is a sound kind of mentality. Sometimes that's relevant in real time too.
Okay.
When we're done, so a family member that's going to stay close by.
Yeah, I'll leave it.
All right. So when we're done, you're gonna kick her on the leg real hard.
Husband.
In the shins. He'll tap you on the leg. That means you take off your own gear. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to touch you. If you're speaking too loud, because we do have neighbors, I try not to piss anybody off.
Okay.
I'm gonna
He's
slap
going
you
to
on the
tap you on
back of
the
the
shoulder.
head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shoulder means just quiet down a little bit. If we can't hear you, he may lift up your earmuff and just say, "Can you speak louder?" Keep it nice and simple. On your end, you are just going to see images that are going to randomly show up. Have you guys ever seen AI generate images before? It's a very interesting process. So I don't know what these images that you're going to see are. You might not get any. You might have 12. So you'll hear all of the questions, but you're just going to simply tell us in a very basic description of what you see: two ladies on a bench wearing red coats with a tree. Like, that's as simple as it gets. If she's not giving us much, I may ask you probing questions, but I'll always say your name first to address you so you know I'm speaking to you. So obviously you'll know when we're done because you're going to be able to hear me. The cool thing is you still don't know the history. And this way you don't know what to expect out of this, and you may not know why I'm asking her the questions that I'm asking. So we will only keep you under for 10 minutes. So I would say at this point, blindfold on, get those headphones turned on, and as soon as you start hearing things is when I will start our 10-minute session. Kara, you have a focus in here, so keep it upside down. There you go. So I'm going to put my phone in here once I set it up, and if it's blurry, you're going to turn that dial. And this is my phone, so
Putting
my,
this on now, or do you want
not yet. I got to put my phone in. I'm not going to attach it while it's on.
Got it.
But if my wife is sending you dirty pictures, you have to tell me what they are, okay? I said that one night, and the one guy says, "Make sure you take the phone out and show us everything." I'm like, really, dude? I can have a pretty ugly wife. You don't know. We got a picture coming through already, so I'm just waiting for it to finish. I don't know what it is. Super weird.
It says naked.
No way!
This is what, naked?
I love that.
Kidding. That is so
It's
wild.
Inspector first, then naked.
Inspector naked?
No, Spectre.
Oh.
And then naked. I'm probably just going to have somebody turn that up for me because I can't feel it with my
Oh,
clothes.
I'll help you out.
Do I hear you the right way?
It doesn't matter. Family member, you can help her.
Marty.
Anybody.
No, I'd rather just laugh at her.
Shut up.
Much more fun that
So
way.
you need to turn it up.
So I set this up to where you're going to see like basically a cloud of smoke in here, Kara.
Oh, yeah.
So that way you don't fall asleep. You're going to see 2D images. They're not going to be like images 3D in your face. No, it's not going to. It's not a jump scare.
I mean, I'd be okay with that too.
Most people would, but you see how I set up the clouds, and it's just going to look like a photograph floating in front of the
Okay.
clouds.
All right.
So let me slide that in. And then we already have one image that I don't know how to use. So
Okay.
slide that over your head.
Okay. Ooh. It up here.
Keep going.
Here.
Okay. Patty, can you hear me?
Yes.
Turn it up. Can you hear me now? What color is a blue banana? Perfect. She can't hear me. It is 11:28. So here we go. Everybody, let's kind of huddle around a little bit tighter. So Richard, I'm going to bring you in. All right. Henry Timrod, if you are here, you are the only one I'm looking to speak with tonight. Everybody else needs to take a step backwards, please, and let Henry come forth. Henry, can you tell us something about your occupation, please? We're going to start this off the way we always do, nice and easy, just for verification that you're here. Tell us something about your occupation. What did you do for a living?
I got
What'd you get?
gold.
Cold.
Gold.
Gold. Henry, can you tell us something about your occupation? What did you do for a living? Henry, This is Patty. She can hear you. This is Kara. She can see whatever you want us to see. We're using all of the boxes that we normally use. Feel free to speak through any of them. So it's like she was about to say something and then gave up. Like the first time she was done. Jackson. That makes sense here. That's actually great stuff. It's not relevant to our friend Henry, but Andrew Jackson's mother's memorial is over there.
No kidding.
Yeah, welcome to my world, dude. This is why you have to keep researching more shit. Henry, back to you, sir. Last night you started telling us about the war you served in. You want to go back to telling us about the war? That's a yes/no question. I'm gonna lift up your room up and remind her to tell us what she's hearing. It happens all the time.
Are you hearing anything?
No.
No? Okay.
Jacob? I don't know who that is. Henry, can you tell us what sound we're hearing right now out of the church?
Just like a bunch of pieces to songs.
Okay. We've had the word bells spelled out on your device when I've asked that question, so I usually go with that.
Risky.
Henry, what sound did we just hear out of the church? You could tell us the name of the church too. I'm okay
A
with
lot of static, but nothing.
Henry. Anything about the church? That would be the sound we just heard, the name of the church. You got anything coming through, Grace? Sarah, anything besides smoke?
No.
Okay.
It's darker smoke sometimes, but there's no big deal.
Yeah, my guest last night said that, and I wanted to test it today, and I didn't get a
Yeah,
chance.
sometimes it's darker smoke and I'll use like a
A
skull.
lot of static and then stop.
Henry, Patty's having a hard time hearing whatever it is you want to tell us. You're going to have to be very clear. I've asked you about your job,
I just got bells ringing.
like the
Oven
phrase
noise.
bells ringing?
No.
Actual
just
bells.
like actual bells.
That's even better. Like, I'm asking a question, he gave us the answer.
That's, wow.
Henry, thank you for using a different box.
Oh wait, something's coming through
Oh,
now.
we have an image.
It's a woman in a blue dress, and she's running toward that direction. She has brown hair, blue dress, red shoes.
Can we guess a time period?
More modern.
Okay. Anything in the background? Like, where's she running?
She looks like it's a office building. It's like two windows, a brown door, and a yellow tan building.
Sounds dangerous for a woman just to be running around an office. Henry?
Just like a lot of static and pieces of songs.
Henry, we've asked you about your job.
Just heard Mercy.
We got anything going on with yours?
Just risky.
Okay. Any letters? Henry, we're having a little bit of struggles tonight. We're really going to have to be clear. We're going to keep it nice and basic. Things that just happened in real time with the church or your occupation. It means I'm not going to be prying into your family life or anything about the war. Just looking for some verification that you're here. There's a happy ghost song for you. Any readings coming out of yours, Logan?
I had a flip up a 2 and that was it.
Fools.
It's called Us Fools. Did you hear that? Told you this guy's not happy with me, everybody. Henry, yes, no question. Are you still upset about the other night? She looks like she's just give me take another image if you want to communicate with us that way.
A lot of static and then nothing.
Grace, how you doing on yours? You hearing anything else? Just shout them out, since we're struggling with it coming through Patty.
Work. I did get work earlier.
Okay. We asked you about your work, Henry.
14 years ago.
Henry, we're down to 3 minutes left. So feel free to use any of the other boxes. Or if you want to speak through Patty, you got to make it nice and clear so she can hear it. Kara, you've only had one image, right?
Yeah, and it's a lot of dark though. It's getting dark. Every time you ask a question, it's dark.
It's weird.
It's very like it, yeah.
Henry, you're going to have to be clear. We're getting down to the end of this. I know you're upset with me the other night, but we kind of made amends last night.
I just got HT.
I got December.
HT and December at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Henry, do you want us to go home?
Oh, it got so black.
Henry, do you want us to go home?
Oh wait, picture.
Okay. What do we have?
Gun. It's a gun.
What kind of gun?
It's a very long rifle. Actually, it looks old-fashioned. It looks old-fashioned. It's pointed to the right. I don't know what kind of gun it is, but it's old.
What kind of
It's
time
like
period?
a Civil War kind of gun.
No, over there.
Yeah.
Of course, we'll all see that picture.
Crash.
It's a Civil War gun.
Okay.
Keeps fading in and out.
Henry,
It's gone.
you can see the gun. One last time to opportunity to tell us anything you need us to know. So you can take the answers from any of the other boxes we're using as well, or you can use Patty to channel through. Grace, last call. You got anything? Okay. Alright, Henry going once, going twice. Let's get her tapped out. Kara, let's go ahead and peel that off your face. Yeah, take it off. You guys can hear how loud she has that.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's important to us. She'll know the minute she hears this. This thing went completely red and just stayed there. And then the name Jacob.
Is there a family member?
I think that's September 29th. He was killed in a car, a motorcycle.
Okay, let's go ahead and turn that down for sure. I used to say like there's more than likely a chance that something's coming through. But I don't know the
And that's
rest
his
of it.
name.
So I don't want you to tell me anything else because when I go through Grace's recording, I don't want to be looking for things. So a lot of my notes that come back to you guys are just weird things that I caught, and it might not mean anything to our spaces that we visited. So it is what it is. So the fact that you guys have a family member paying, or we're crashing through, I'm seeing a start of a connection. So I
Our
don't.
son is Jacob too, but he's fine.
He's fine. Okay.
So
So
just putting him out there. He's not. He's
But it stayed red for
yeah.
quite
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah, it was just really weird because it kept going like loud, static, and then silent, and then just like.
And I was
songs.
watching to make sure like you were rotating properly on the numbers for your stations, and everything seemed to be working
Yeah.
fine. I think we just kind of struggled through this.
Yeah.
So again, I kept referring back to Grace if she was hearing anything. She did hear a direct answer to a question that I asked about the church bells going off, because I always use a real-time reference for something, and she did hear bells ringing at that point. So that was actually pretty kudos. And we did get our ghost initials on the Ouija board. In case you guys didn't hear Steven, he did say HT. So again, I'm not going to teach you guys the history right now.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get it from the
Get it
audio.
from you.
If you have cameras, by all means, get them stopped. So let me show you what the images are that were brought up. So I'll kind of shoot off to